Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping straight into the fascinating science behind something you probably already have in your pantry right now: raw honey. We're going to break down some deeply researched routines that show how this incredibly simple, sweet treat might literally transform the way your body handles aging.
So look, a lot of people just assume that all those frustrating ailments, the aching knees, thinning hair, that endless chronic fatigue, or waking up at 3 a.m. to use the bathroom are just inevitable parts of getting older. But the source material we're unpacking today points to a totally different story. It reveals how this one kitchen staple could actually rival conventional treatments, completely without those nasty side effects.
Here's our roadmap for The Explainer today. We're covering 4 parts: the ultimate natural combo, 3 powerful mix-ins, the nighttime honey miracle, and finally, how not to eat honey.
All right, let's kick things off with part 1, the ultimate natural combo, which is honey and cinnamon. The source enthusiastically argues that mixing raw honey with cinnamon creates this insanely potent, side effect-free remedy, and it targets the literal root of aging, which is chronic inflammation. By themselves, sure, they're great, but combined, they become this super regenerative daily duo that your body absolutely craves. It's really like a perfect biological synergy. On the one hand, you've got honey, which is loaded with flavonoids and antioxidants that actively block those pesky inflammation-causing cytokines while helping tissue repair itself. And then, on the other hand, you have cinnamon. Cinnamon is packed with an active compound called cinnamaldehyde. This stuff radically reduces inflammation markers and dramatically boosts blood flow to your cells. Put them together, and you're getting a massive compounding effect. Because of that exact synergy, the benefits are just wild. Together, this combo delivers rapid relief for aging joints by actually helping regenerate joint cartilage. It fights thinning hair by suppressing a scalp fungus called malassezia, and it does that without nuking your good bacteria. It even soothes the bladder inflammation that causes all those frequent bathroom trips. Oh, and amazingly, cinnamon activates your healthy brown fat, the good fat that naturally melts away stubborn belly weight. How cool is that? Moving right along to part 2, 3 powerful mix-ins for targeted kitchen remedies. The source highlights 3 super specific, powerful pairings you can use to supercharge your honey, really depending on what your body needs most at the moment. We're talking garlic for immunity, carrot juice for your eyes, and walnut miso for brain health. Let's break these down real quick. First up is garlic. The big takeaway here is that if you take raw sliced garlic and soak it in honey for about a week, it stabilizes this incredible natural antibacterial compound called allicin. It's essentially a sweet, natural shield. The honey activates your immune cells, and the allicin goes directly to work attacking viruses. It's an absolute game changer for fighting off viral infections and chronic fatigue. Next, if you're looking to keep your eyes healthy and sparkling as you age, try mixing just a tiny splash of raw, fresh carrot juice into your honey. It gives you beta-carotene and a really crucial nutrient called lutein. You absolutely need lutein to combat things like cataracts, dry eyes, and UV damage to your retina. And because you're just using a tiny splash mixed with honey, you get all those benefits without the massive blood sugar spike you'd get from chugging a whole glass of sweet juice. And for cognitive health, the source recommends this really interesting paste, walnut miso mixed with honey. It combines the blood-thinning omega-3 fatty acids from the walnuts with the gut-healing power of fermented miso. When you add the antioxidant punch of honey to the mix, it wonderfully cleanses your brain's blood vessels, clears out neuroinflammation, and defends against dementia by keeping your memory sharp. All right, part 3, the nighttime honey miracle, because timing is absolutely everything here. To wrap our heads around the source's most surprising revelation, we need to look at what happens in your body while you sleep. If your blood sugar drops too low while you're fasting overnight, your body basically hits the panic button. By 2 a.m., it starts breaking down your precious muscle for fuel. By 4 a.m., it's spiking stress hormones like cortisol just to keep the lights on. So by 6 a.m., you wake up in a state of total adrenal fatigue. You feel exhausted because your body was fighting a literal metabolic war while you were supposedly resting. The source uses a pretty scientific term for this 2 a.m. muscle breakdown: gluconeogenesis. In plain English, it means your body is emergency cannibalizing its own muscle tissue just to create enough blood sugar to keep your energy-hungry brain running while you're asleep. And yeah, that is terrible for your metabolism and your physical strength. But here is where the magic happens. A single spoonful of raw honey right before bed beautifully tops off your liver's glycogen stores, Since honey has this perfect 1-to-1 ratio of glucose to fructose, it gives you a slow, steady release of energy all night long. This totally derails that stressful biological timeline we just talked about. No low blood sugar panic, no muscle cannibalization, and absolutely no cortisol spikes.
And because your body isn't totally stressed out fighting off low blood sugar, it can actually focus on doing its job, healing you. The source notes that taking honey at night boosts acetylcholine, which is a neurotransmitter crucial for storing memories. Plus, flavonoids like rutin and quercetin get to work clearing up those red, tired eye capillaries. It even thins out your nasal mucus to stop mouth breathing and snoring, and uses natural magnesium and potassium to stop those painful midnight calf cramps dead in their tracks.
Okay, finally, part 4. How not to eat honey so we can avoid the dreaded sugar spike. The source really stresses that everyday mistakes will completely ruin these amazing benefits. You've got pure, unheated, raw honey, which is alive with active enzymes, and then you have toxic honey habits. Slathering honey on refined wheat bread just mixes it with a ton of empty carbs and terrible additives, which is a one-way ticket to a massive blood sugar spike and total body inflammation. And those little commercial honey candies, yeah, they're usually just heavily processed sugar, barely any real honey in them at all.
If you only remember one number today, make it 60. You must never heat your honey above 60 degrees Celsius. Seriously, if you just drop it into a mug of boiling hot tea, you will sadly destroy all those essential living enzymes, the natural antibacterial properties, and the vitamins. It literally just becomes plain old sugar water. Keep it raw, or mix it into water that's comfortably lukewarm, ideally under 40 degrees Celsius.
So, the ultimate proven routine here is incredibly simple, and anybody can do it. Step 1, get real, raw, unheated natural honey. Step 2, take exactly 1 spoonful right before you go to sleep. And step 3, if you want, just wash it down with a comforting sip of lukewarm water. That is the whole shebang. Nothing complicated, just pure, targeted nutrition exactly when your body needs it most.
To wrap up the explainer today, I've just got to ask you, with all this incredible science backing it up, from literally protecting your brain and eyes to saving your muscles from breaking down overnight, will you trade your complicated, expensive supplements for one simple, delicious spoonful of raw honey tonight? Try it out. See how your body transforms. Thanks so much for joining me, and as always, here's to your health.